If the chart says there's opportunity and room for it to go lower, and the price action is telling you that it's weak and it wants to go lower, then you damn well better listen. You listen to the market, not to your head. Hi fellow traders, I hope you guys are doing good. I hope your trading's doing well. I know you haven't heard from me in a while, but the last video I posted, I told you guys I was moving to a new house. I am almost completely moved in over here at Balboa Trading. Just like anytime you make a big move, you move the major things first, and then the little things you start to unpack and you try to figure out where they fit in. It's kind of where we're at right now. But had an incredible week last week, off to another great start this week. The team over there is awesome. I mean, they're phenomenal. Everybody there is just an incredible person. Totally blew my mind away. From the first day, I had all the support and everything that just blew my mind. If you're looking for a trading home, you guys come over here and check us out. It's an amazing place. But you know me, you know I've got to give you a quick message. I'm trying to get these to like 90 seconds now. So bear with me. They're going to be really quick to kind of fit in with what everybody does here at BBT. So yesterday we talked about, if you're in the community, yesterday we talked about writing your own story and making sure you're the hero. Today, because of what happened this morning, it made me think about this. So a bad chapter in your story can still be great. You know, you can still be the hero. A wrong path can still lead to the right place. It takes making mistakes and losing yourself to find out who you truly are as a trader. There's no way you can find out who you are until you push the limits. Until you come in and you do it, you make mistakes, you take the wrong path, you may follow the wrong person, whatever, doesn't matter. It's all going to lead you to the right place eventually if you continue on that path. You can't quit. As long as you continue, you're going to end up where you need to be. So no matter what, know that when you write your story, they're going to be bad chapters. I had a bad chapter this morning that we're going to look at here in a minute. But the story's great. The ending is beautiful, and I'm still a hero. All right, so let's take a look at this morning's trades. So we're looking at RBLX. Let me tab over here a little bit. I use a 5-minute chart to execute and trade on. So let me preface this real quick. Yesterday for earnings, we traded RBLX. So let me bring this up here. Okay, hopefully you can see this. This is the RBLX trade. This is the initial pop on earnings. The opening candle or the announcement candle, I marked the high and the low. If we break to the high side, just like my 5-minute opening range breakout, I go long and I start hitting my profit targets. So RBLX started yesterday as an earnings trade. I saw on our option scanner here. I use flow algo. I don't trade options. I use an option scanner to tell me where big money is placing their bets, because that's the side I want to be on. And if the chart lines up with what I'm seeing here, everything is perfect. So RBLX was great. I know some of you guys will say, and somebody did respond to the tweet, that there's no way they could have taken this with a candle this big. You know, that's a limited mindset. This is you'll miss a lot of these earnings trades if you sit here and say, well, this candle's too big, I gotta wait for it to pull back and all this. I used to have that mindset too. Didn't make any money. On earnings, a stock can go to the moon. Look at this. It just blew up. So we're making 52-week highs. We're blowing up. The option scanner had 110 calls, 115, 120 calls. So my money was to the long side, and we had a really good day. So today I'm looking for it to continue. This morning looked pretty good. So I'm gonna be a little aggressive. I'm gonna buy the run over the pre-market high at the open. I bought it, and it quickly turned around on me. Well, because I'm bringing all of this baggage with me into the day about what I saw yesterday, I'm thinking, well, they're just shaking weak hands out, and then they're gonna push it back up. Yeah, my hand was pretty weak. Even though I thought I was the man, obviously my hand was pretty weak. It pulled back. It reached the point of maximum pain for me, so I had to bail out. It did sell off. There's no way, it wouldn't have made any sense for me to hold it through something this deep. And I'm in full size. So it did recover. As it came back, I did buy it, but I had the levels marked wrong, and I bought it a little bit too early. And so I bought it, but had to hold it. Thankfully, I was only in smaller size. I didn't go in full size. Allowed me to handle this pullback and allow it to test the 50-day. Here you see the 50-day pretty much held. We closed below it, but we never got a candle to confirm it. Never confirmed it by taking it lower. The 100 period moving average actually held. If I said 50-day, I meant 50 period. But it held, so I gave it this. I had enough room with smaller size to let it test. It worked its way back up. I trusted the trend. I told you guys in chat, you have to trust the trend. You know, if you're in it and you're able to withstand the pullback, trust the trend. Okay? I've said it before, paciencia y fe. That's what you got to have. Patience and faith in your process. And at the end of the day, it just started work. It worked its way up and started making the move. I wasn't able to make everything back from here, but I took a significant chunk of the loss and allowed me to have a better day. Okay, I wrote a bad story in the morning, but I'm the hero in the afternoon. You know, another thing that we talked about today was you can lose the battle of the morning, but make sure you don't win the war of the day. We're going to go through battles throughout the day. We just want to make sure at the end of the day we won the war. And that's got to be the focus. All right, so that was the first trade. The next trade was PayPal. This is another one that reported earnings this week. And, you know, again, just because this stock has sold off and it looks oversold doesn't mean it can't go lower. If the chart says there's opportunity and room for it to go lower, and the price action is telling you that it's weak and it wants to go lower, then you damn well better listen. You listen to the market, not to your head. Because most of the time when we try to think and all of that, we're wrong. We overthink. And here was just a simple trade. We got in, started taking profit as we were making our way down to our final target. Just couldn't quite hit my final target here. It was like 201.50, I believe, was the final target. Just couldn't get there. We bounced, and you know, once we made a higher high here, I went ahead and took it off. I didn't want to let it test and go all the way back to break even. This is one of the adaptations I make when I've had a big loss on the morning and I'm down. I'm not going to allow this to go all the way back. Once we make a higher high, doesn't matter whether we're testing this or that. If I've got profit locked in, I'm going to lock in as much as I can and move on. We were watching this to see if it broke the bottom of this channel. It never did. It never really broke the top of the channel. Like, this would be the top of the channel here. It traded inside the channel the rest of the day. Didn't really give us much of anything else. So I got what I could out of this. Pretty decent trade. Let's see. The next trade was the earnings trade. All right. So just like yesterday, we've got the announcement candle. We've got the low. And then here's the high up here. I didn't mark the high because we weren't coming back. Usually if I'm just going to mark the level where we are. So this was the high. If it came back and it broke the high, like we've seen stocks do before, I'm going long. And all of the targets that we looked at when we built this watch list for earnings, we do it just like we do in the morning. We scan, we pull the stocks, we vet them, we point out where the profit targets are, where logically the stock can trade, all of that stuff. And we get ready. And that's what we did. So we just waited for the announcement, wait for that first candle to go in. Is this down too far? Absolutely not. You just wait for the next candle to print. If it retraces, fine. If it doesn't and it's showing weakness, you better short this thing. And you can see we got 2 hits. This was the final target here, 306.50, but we hit 316 and bounced. And, ended up having to take it off at break even. The problem I had here was I accidentally covered too much. I only went in 150 shares on this, and my cover sequence is based on 200 or 300 shares. So I accidentally ended up buying 50 shares after I closed out the position. So I ended up long 50 shares, and then I had to sell it for just a small loss because I was holding it just in case we popped up a little bit and I could grab some more profit. But that was just an execution error, just clicking the wrong button. But that was that. So coin turned out to be a really good trade, and you could see it turned around and it finally hit the target here. So I only missed this last leg, and that was fine. But what kind of hurt my feelings was the next trade on Upstart. So typically we don't get a chance to hit more than one earnings trade because they all kind of announce around the same time. But today we were able to get 2, and Upstart turned out to be really, really good. We got the the announcement candle here, high and low. We broke the low, went short. First target, second target, third target, fourth target was 240. We didn't quite get there. So what happened was, see, my second target was right here. So what happened was it didn't quite get to 240, and it kind of bounced, and we were and it looked like we were starting to recover. So this made a higher low. This made a higher high relative to this candle. So I just bailed out. Look what it did after I bailed out. So right down to my 240 level. Went down to like 235.11 or something like that. And then bounced. So this kind of fooled me a little bit, but that's fine. I'm happy. Had a great day. And we cover all of this every day in the chat room, in the community, the setup, why I do what I do, how I scan. We do it every day. So the goal is to get you guys to be able to do it on your own. You get tired of hearing me say the same thing over and over again. It's burned in your mind. And then you can go out and execute. And then you can tell everybody where you learned it from. You know, send them over to BBT. All right, so how much did we make? That's the question every day. Every day, how much did you make? How much? I don't listen. Yesterday we made, what, $18.69? All right, today, let's take a snapshot of this so you can see what we made today. Remember I said this morning, I wrote a terrible story. Wrote a terrible story this morning. But I was the hero by the end of the day. You know, just because the morning started out bad and then it slows down and then the afternoon stinks, doesn't mean you're going to have a bad day. All right, so here, RBLX was the one I wrote the bad story on. But we ended up today 29.50.21. Still lost, ended up losing $378.82 on this. But you know, the earnings on Coinbase, the earnings on Upstart, those two trades knocked it out of the park. Even though we did have a good trade on PayPal, and we had, you know, a good trade after the bad trade on RBLX. I just made a mistake in drinking the Kool-Aid and just held on to this too long. I went in too much size, was too aggressive, and held on too long. But we fixed that. And the day turned out great. So that wraps it up for us. I hope you guys had a great day. And we'll be back at this thing tomorrow. So we'll see you then.